cover over 50% of the membership of the public workers in America. These are teachers, firefighters, police officers, etc. And thank you for inviting me here, Bob.
It's great to see you. Mr. Vieira?
No, I'm Paul.
Starting again, it's always a pleasure to be with this group. I do first want to say and congratulate first Tom DiNapoli and then Scott Stringer for the leadership they provided in this area. You two are heads and shoulders above the rest of the pension fund managers. Many are viewing your example and looking to follow. I would point to a couple things that I think made it very successful. In the case of what Tom has done is hired, staff from, Vicki Fuller, now to Anastasia Tatarczyk to actually focus with their teams, which included, people like Alcina and Goolsby and others to really focus on how do you drive capital into these efficiently and well-run private equity firms and asset managers. And in Scott's case, again, you mentioned Carl Wallace, who's just been spectacular. But I think one of the important elements as well is the hiring of Alex Donier and elevating him to CIO. And I think, one of the important parts is that these pension funds have to, reflect in their staff what their objectives are and what they want to accomplish. We at our firm, look to reflect that. Again, we have outside board members, and I'm looking at now about 60% of our outside board members are women, 70% of our boards have a person of color. So 60% of our boards have a woman on the board and 70% have a person of color. And I think, driving through, as you say, walking the walk through the staffing, the intentional conscious inclusion dynamics changes the way that these assets get allocated. And, like all things, we have to perform, which we do. And by and large, our statistics, and, Bob Raven, you can talk about that, perform. But we also have to have counterparts on the other side who recognize the importance of fueling our ecosystem of asset managers at some level proportionate to the payout or to the pay in to those pension plans, which I know Reverend Sharpton has talked about quite a bit, which is critically important. As John is speaking to, one, I think the federal government, with a $1 trillion plus pension has less than, I think, 0.5% in the hands of diverse managers, which if you look at, federal workers, we make up a whole lot more than 1.5%. And I think there should be some leadership. I think, our leaders here on the stage from New York, again, are leading the way in the state of New York. There's other states that need to follow that example. And if they are not, I think that, the community needs to hold them accountable. If you're a teacher and 30% of the teachers are African-American in a particular county or state and less than 1% or zero are being managed by African-American managers, that's something that those teachers need to hold that group accountable for. And, to John's point, and I like what Comptroller DiNapoli did was to make a call to action for corporate America. To make sure that the diversity of the boards, because it's those boards that are going to make a difference in, who they're going to select and how that asset management of their pension plans are often getting determined. And so I think about it as holistic. It's an ecosystem. I think we have to start at the federal level. We have to get to the state level, and of course, the corporate level as well, to ensure that we have, people understanding it's important. And if not, they need to be called out. The gentleman on the stage have the ability to call these corporations because they are the shareholders, major shareholders of these corporations. Just like, Treasurer Wooten is doing in Connecticut, and call those corporations and say, hey, listen, this is what we want to see. And if you're not doing that, then, we will not invest in the stock of your companies or give instruction to the money managers who are in that space to invest in the stock of that company. And I think those are the sorts of activities that can be done in concert to drive more capital into the hands of a broader citizenry in America.